This is Nick Nicholas here on behalf of Mining Interactive. And I'm here today with Mickey Falk, the Mercenary Geologist. I think, Mickey, you can correct me in a moment, but you have been on a traveling tour in Europe and then back to Canada again here. You're here in Vancouver now, and I think a couple of days you will be finishing up your final 36-day tour, I think it is. So Mickey, tell us about this tour. This is very exciting.
Yeah, I started in New York in early May for the Hard Assets Conference. Now, I must say I didn't work the whole time in New York. New York in mid-May. You've got to have some fun. Anyway, I presented at the Hard Asset Conference, and I went to Europe, and my first two stops were in Kosovo and Portugal, evaluating projects of a company that I cover. Then I proceeded to Geneva, where I presented at a boutique investor show, and the title of my talk was How to Evaluate Rare Earth Element Companies. And that tied in pretty well, because from there I went on to Sweden and looked at Tasman Metals North Shar project. From there I went to Silmet, the only one of two light rare separation plants of any consequence out of China. Hopped across the Baltic Sea from there to Helsinki and flew up north to Rovaniemi and looked at Mawson's new exciting gold uranium discovery on the Arctic Circle.
That Rumpus project, which, as you know, I represent Tasman as well as Mawson, and I'm very excited about Tasman, of course, the way they've moved along so fast, and also of Rumpus, you know, which is the gold project that is just, you know, initially very phenomenal. So, tell us a little bit more about those projects and so on, or anything that you wanted to mention about your trip, you know, here in North America as well.
My trip to North Shar was quite interesting. I was in company of Magnus Ltd, the chief geologist for Tasman. We spent a day and a half at North Shar. I was impressed by the infrastructure, very close to the interstate highway in farming country, beautiful country that is. The deposit was quite interesting. It is a significant resource in heavy rare earth elements, strongly skewed toward the heavy rare earth elements. Magnus is a very capable geologist. They just finished the third phase of drilling, and Magnus was logging core. I was able to see outcrops. It confirmed my previous ideas about what I was going to see at North Shar. It looks like it's going to be a very robust deposit.
And the infrastructure there, I mean, as far as getting to the project and port facilities, if ever necessary, what do you think about that?
Well, we traveled from Stockholm, and it was about a 3-hour drive on interstate highway. Most of that time was spent getting out of the Stockholm area. It's can be
pretty heavy.
From downtown Stockholm, I stayed at a hotel, the Grand Hotel in Stockholm.
Beautiful at the harbor.
Beautiful, and was able to see Old Town in Stockholm, and then we drove there in the afternoon and looked at the project briefly, and then spent the whole next day at the project. Infrastructure is absolutely as good as you ever get.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something. There's something that you made me aware of that particular project, and that has to do with the thorium and uranium. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, most rare earth element deposits, in fact, all of them that are significant that I know about, have uranium and thorium in them, with the exception of Tasman. Tasman has very low levels, barely above background for both uranium and thorium, and those elements are radioactive, as you know, and they can present not disposal problems, but they have to be mitigated in a tailings facility in a mine, and Tasman's North Shar project doesn't have that problem.
Doesn't have that problem.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I like I say, so far they have been moving with lightning speed, and you know, just having listed in 2009 on the exchange, and by 2010 November they already were announcing a resource that would be enough basically to go into production for 10 or 15 years. It's early days still. There's a tremendous amount of work to be done, but I'm excited to be part of that project. That's for sure.
No, so am I, and as you're well aware, I'm a committed shareholder of Tasman, and they are sponsors of my website. So.
Very good, excellent. Now, Mickey, let's switch to Finland and the Rumpus project. You said you had a look at that, and so what were your, infrastructure-wise, and what were your impressions, rather?
Well, having never been on the Arctic Circle in the Eastern Hemisphere, I was actually quite surprised. I expected tundra or taiga.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we stayed in a farmhouse and on a shallow lake. It looks like northern boreal forest in eastern Canada. So there's infrastructure to Rumpus, essentially very close to paved highways. You can drive around in most of the places. You don't even need a four-wheel drive to get to the occurrences, but it's got good infrastructure, and I was quite surprised by that.
Well, I went through some of the projects of Mawson in northern Sweden. It's the same thing there, and right under the Arctic Circle where I was, these countries have mined and supplied Europe for hundreds of years, so it's nothing new there.
No, and that's your point's well taken, that Sweden and Finland both have a very strong mining culture. They mined there for years. Sweden supplies more raw materials to the European Union than any other country. So mining is looked upon as a favorable use of the land, and that bodes well.
Now, Mickey, that particular Rumpus project came from Areva originally to Mawson, and they had the discovery originally, and then of course Mawson verified that with a 43-101 report. But did you get to speak to Erkki van Hanen, the discoverer of the project, because he discovered it by Geiger counter, I think, and then of course, boom, there was all this gold there.
Well, I was lucky enough to be in company of Mike Hudson, the CEO of Tasman, and Erkki van Hanen, who, as you referred to, made the original discovery with Areva. Also on the tour was Terry Lees, the Vice President Exploration for Mawson, and a very good consulting geologist, structural geologist, Lee Rankin, also an Australian. So I was in the company of 3 Aussies and a Finlander. Mawson has quite a geological staff right now, counting the students and the junior geos. They're up to a staff of about 20 geologists, exploring both on a detailed basis the occurrences that are known. They're making new discoveries every day, and then they have a regional program over the entire claim block.
As this progresses, of course, everybody is asking me, when will they start drilling and so on, and of course we are awaiting drill permits from the Finnish government, and that seems to be a slow process, and so we want the drilling, but there is all kinds of work ongoing, because this is a huge area, 9 kilometer strike length, and now they've added another 18 kilometers, I think, to it. They've got some 27 kilometers altogether.
30 kilometers is what actually stuck in my mind, but I may be rounding off numbers. But it's a huge area, and there's gold and uranium occurrences scattered over a very wide area. The market would like to see drilling immediately. That's just not going to happen. What it has done is going to give Mawson another field season to understand the geological setting of these very high-grade gold and uranium occurrences, and I think that's actually a good thing. By the time they get around to drilling, they're going to be exactly sure which ways they need to drill it, what directions they need to drill, what's the nature of the occurrences, what are the geological controls, and in something this high grade, we're talking bonanza gold grades and very high uranium grades. It's something that geologists have never really seen. We don't quite understand the geologic setting. So I think this summer is going to be very productive, and they come in next year and drill this thing and give it its best shot.
They of course did some a small hole drilling because the outcrop is only 3% of the property, so they wanted to have a quick look at the base rock and see. I think they were allowed to go 3 meters into it to see if the mineralogy carried on. Is that what that was the reason? Because they were able to do that from top of the snow from a skidoo. Is that the reason?
Well, they moved a very small winky style drill, to use a term we use in the business. Small diameter core, and basically the idea was to get through the shallow till to the underlying bedrock and get samples of that underlying bedrock. So those drill holes were not really designed to determine the style of mineralization. They were really stratigraphic holes, so they were designed to understand as best you could more information on the geological setting. So I do not really expect ore grade intercepts to come out of this. They were just basically moving the drill on the skidoo through the snow on established roads and getting whatever kind of geological information we could about the project.
You know, that is what I find exciting about the project, because I'm a promoter, as you know, and I go out and I tell people what I know about the projects and so on. And what I do know, and I feel very strong about, is that this is very early days, really, if you start looking at it. This could be a world-class situation. I mean, there's so many hopes. Let's put it there. It's not hopes, it's intelligent hope that we have, that this can be the big one.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be that quite that boisterous
I want you to know,
at that time, this time, but there are geological occurrences of mineralization there, gold, uranium grades that we've never really seen anywhere else, to my knowledge, in the world, and there are many occurrences. I think geologists would tend to say that this could be a world-class discovery. It could be nothing more than surface phenomena. It's probably going to be something in between. So we have to wait until the geological setting is determined, and your crew, the crew at Mawson, figures out which way it needs to be drilled, what directions, what angles. Drill permits are expected to come in, and we would expect drill holes next season. And as you well know, Nick, the drill is the old truth tool. And until this project is drilled, we really won't know. But it's certainly at this stage, very exciting project. And I have to say, I am a shareholder of Mawson. I bought on the open market before I covered the company last fall, and Mawson is a sponsor of my website. So I'm biased. I have a vested interest in this project, and we hope it works out.
There are, in one's lifetime, there are a lot of projects that come and go. You know, I mean, a lot of dogs don't hunt, so you get yourself another hunting dog. But in this particular case, the first thing that I've always bet on with Mawson is management. So I invest in management because I'm not a geologist. You know, so the first thing that I have to do before I can go and market it to the rest of the world, create market awareness for the company, is to feel comfortable with the management.
Your point about management of both these companies, Tasman Metals and Mawson Resources, is well taken. I've known Mike Hudson, the CEO of Mawson, since Peru in the late 90s. I've known Mark Saxon lesser time, but they're common management and very good young geologists and up-and-coming company executives.
Yeah, no doubt about it, no doubt about it. Now, Mickey, you know, this actually ends our interview, and it's been very exciting, and I thank you very much. You're pretty near at the end of your tour now, your 36-day tour, and it's been a whirlwind tour for you, a lot of traveling, and it's very taxing on a person, this traveling, but it's also exciting when you get to the properties and you see beautiful scenery, you know, and so on, and it's just great. So I thank you very much, and like I said, you're carrying on with your tour for a few more days.
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, and for the Cambridge House Investment Conference.
Yeah.
I've got some consulting work that I will finish up here, and My 36-day tour will end on Friday when I finally arrive back home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm over my jet lag from the Arctic Circle where the sun never sets and a 10-hour time zone difference. So we're going to carry on here and enjoy Vancouver. It's a bright, sunny June days here, but I do look forward to getting home.
Well, we're just actually, Mickey, on our way with our camera people to Finland and to Sweden to take some footage of Rumpus as well as of the Norra Shar property, the rare earth property, the heavy rare earth property, I call it now, because of its high percentage of heavy rare earth. So, Mickey, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. We hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's always a pleasure.
Great. This is Nick Nicholas on behalf of Mining Interactive. And as always, stay tuned. Bye for now.